Hello, and welcome to my channel. Or welcome back, if that is the case. Today, I'm going to be making just a very casual drawing. I don't really have any plans yet. We'll see what comes out. And I wanted to start by apologizing for my comments on men. My hate comments towards men, the misandry. Because, I kind of realized, I've been too hard on men. Because, this is just, it's what they call daddy issues or whatever, right? You build men up to be, so perfect in your head. And then they commit some sort of act of impropriety. And then they're, canceled, right? So I realized that I have to stop criticizing men for this because it's just fate that they're flawed. They're gonna mess up. So instead of, mentally punishing men for messing up, I just have to expect that they're all gonna be like that. But anyway, yeah. And, also, some men just don't deserve the hate, you know what I mean? There are some genuinely good ones out there. So yeah, sorry to all men. And sorry to all women that I feel the need to apologize, because I don't even know. We're cooked. Yeah, anyway, I have a very busy night tonight, but I wanted to make a video because I gotta keep uploading, gotta keep creating content, and also it's really good practice to make videos. So if you're thinking of becoming a YouTuber, there's no time like the present, because you'll get a lot of practice. You need the practice or your videos are gonna suck, basically. But what I have to do tonight, yeah, just chores and stuff. And one thing that I'm very excited for is I'm planning my birthday party, and I haven't had a birthday party since I was a little kid. So I have to make the invites for that tonight, and that's gonna be really fun. And the vibe for the party, I don't know, because I haven't had a party in my entire adult life, I'm so scared that people aren't gonna show up. But I think it's fine if no one shows up anyway. Because I would just be doing what I was gonna do on my birthday anyway, right? So it's a bonus if people show up. And I saw this meme about rent parties today. It's a rent party next week. It's free to enter, but $100 to leave. And no, I think rent parties are awesome. We need to popularize that. It's so, you just invite a bunch of friends over if you're short on rent, and just say pay what you can, and then boom, it's just a wonderful community effort. But the way that meme phrased it was really funny, so that made me laugh. Yeah, and today I'm drawing, it looks like just a cute little portrait. That's kind of basic, kind of boring. Let's go for something cool. I feel like I've been drawing so for my vampire story, there's vampires, but then they're ops are these little gremlins, but the gremlins are also, they're not quite ops, they also collaborate on certain things, because the gremlins are also enemies of humans, or I guess they'd be goblins. Yeah, so both the goblins and the vampires have something against humans, but they also beef with each other. And yeah, there's some funny lines about that in my upcoming vampire comic, which I haven't actually started. No, I started it. I just, it's that thing when you get 80% done on something, and then it's just and now the world can't see it. I refuse to finish it. So that's what I'm going through on that. But yeah, I'm really trying to finish things this year. I don't know. It's yeah, everyone struggles with the same issue, right? It's just the willpower and actually getting things done. We all have these great ideas, we all have these wonderful projects in mind, but it's literally just exercising your will. That is the strongest power that you can have. For example, today I saw a customer at work, and she was wearing this cute little choker, and I wanted to compliment her choker, but I got kind of caught up in the awkwardness of the moment, and I just didn't say it. And then I was realizing wow, I could have just made that moment so much better if I had gone with my, what I really wanted to say in that moment, instead of getting overridden by that societal pressure of don't comment on what a customer's wearing, that's so weird, blah blah blah. So yeah, because I've noticed when people are really willing to give compliments or just speak their mind, that is such a virtue of just because if you have something nice to say, why would you hold that back? Similarly, if you have some wonderful art to share with the world, why would you hold your art back? No one's gonna that's the funniest thing is I was talking to a family member about sharing your work, and they were very perturbed about the things that I share in my work. And they're like, don't you just like worry that people are like gonna think badly about you and stuff like that? It's like, no, not really. Like, it's like, aren't you worried that people are gonna think it's bad? Like, what are you trying to say here? No, I don't care about that, but jeez. Yeah, I guess I've silenced my inner critic about whether my artwork is good or bad, because I realized like I don't know what the shift was for me. I think part of it was that I would see artists who are like objectively way more talented than I am, and like with a very harsh inner critic, and I just realized like how much it detracts from the work when they're putting stuff out there and then just like with a caveat, oh, by the way, this actually sucks. So I was like, okay, I should stop doing that. Even though if you watched my last drawing video, you probably noticed that I actually did that many times. So it's still a work in progress. I was trying to do like a medieval cloak on this goblin guy, but it's more like a hoodie. Modern goblin AU. I mean, that actually kind of makes sense, right? Like he would have picked up an oversized hoodie because the goblin tailors, right? It's so much easier, like, he robbed a thrift shop. Yeah. And, oh, it's gonna be one of those videos where I have trouble coming up with topics, isn't it? Oh, but so many people sent me such great questions, and then I just immediately, I didn't write them down, so now I can't remember what the questions were. Oh, that's just awful. If I can remember any of them, I'll try to bring that up. But, oh, it's the last day of Zine Day May. I'm making my last zine of the day. I don't have a topic for that ready yet either. I find that usually once I start folding up the paper, then I start to get an idea. And that's the thing with drawing. It's like, you don't have to have an idea for drawing before you start drawing. Just start making like random shapes or faces, and then like the idea comes from that. But so many people have it the other way. So even with writing too, just start writing a few sentences. And here's an exercise. Okay, I'm letting you in on like a top secret tip here that I have created myself, okay? Like this should be hidden behind a $250 course, 6-part course, okay? Because this is how good this tip is, right? Buy yourself a pack of lined index cards from the dollar store. Or I mean, like you can use what you have. You don't have to spend money on this, right? But on each of the cards, like you're gonna need a lot of them. Write one sentence. And just like kind of like a descriptor of like an object. Like say something like a mysterious forest path. So like not even a full sentence, right? Just a few words. Or like, you know, an enchanting woman, that sort of thing, right? You know, a suspicious kitchen knife. And then once you've got like 20 of these, or like you do less, more or less, then you start shuffling up the deck, right? And then you pick a card from the top of the deck, and then you have to add, you know, a few more words. You could, I don't know if it really matters how many, like 5 more words, or finish the sentence, whatever. And then if you feel so inspired to make a new card, do that too. And then you just sit with this deck for, you know, however long you feel like spending on the activity. This is like a work in progress, right? Like, you could keep the deck going for weeks, or you could try and finish it all in one sitting. And you just want to fill out the cards as much as you can, and you'll start to see that, like, a story emerges. And this is just a great way to start a story, break your writer's block, or, like, help develop an idea. So this is kind of the strategy I've been using for my supposed graphic novel. See, I hate talking about things like this because I feel like I'm putting a curse on myself because I've already cursed myself, you know? But I think I should just stop saying it, right? Because I always say, like, if I say something, I'm not gonna do it, right? But then I'm reinforcing the curse. So I need to say, by talking about my projects, I become more enthused to finish them. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You gotta hypnotize yourself. And I am planning on doing a guided meditation video soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. That's gonna be fun. Just like a guided meditation on becoming your most creative and productive self is the vibe for that. And, oh, and yeah, I made my own, not like tarot cards, but just like divinatory cards. So I'm gonna do readings of those. It's just, I really wanted to do one tonight, but I woke up so late that I didn't have time to do makeup today. And it was the worst because it was one of those days where I planned out how I was gonna do my hair and makeup the night before. And then in the morning, I literally just slept through my alarm. So that just sucked. Threw off my whole day. But yeah, anyway, tarot card reading soon. And what else do I got planned? Yeah, like merch. Oh my god, I've been talking about doing merch for like almost a full year at this point. Stay posted on that one. It's like, I don't really like shipping things though. Just, I don't trust it, right? Like, my mail never arrives. Like, I swear the feds are stealing my mail or something. And it's probably my responsibility to do something about it, like call customs or whatever. I'm so avoidant about that sort of thing. Like, I just want, when something bad happens to me, I just don't want to think about it. So instead of like doing anything to resolve the situation, I just don't think about it, or I think about how much I don't want to think about it. And then evidently the situation gets worse. So clearly that strategy is not working for me. If you have any other better strategies, let me know. Like how to face your fears. And I was thinking, like, I should probably use more discretion with what I discuss on this channel, because sometimes, well, or maybe not, like, it's not good to censor yourself, right? You should just speak what comes to mind, because, you know, I don't necessarily endorse everything I say, you know, because our psyches are conditioned by, like, our upbringing and our culture, right? This is just what someone who's been brought up the way that I have would say. Not necessarily that it's good or valuable, or like that you should agree with me. It's just, these are the thoughts that emerge in my mind. Observe them without judging, okay? Let the thought arise. But yeah, my problem is that I do get lost. I do get caught up in the trains of thought. And then it's like, I wouldn't call it a spiral. I would call it more like a jaunt. Yeah, this is just really boring. All I draw are faces. It's so boring. Maybe oh yeah, I had a really good idea, right? For my next big, milestone, I'm gonna do a giveaway, and it's gonna be, I'm gonna draw a portrait of whoever wins. Or of their pet, if they're shy to show their face. So that'll be fun. My next milestone. Yeah, I think that's 1K subscribers. That's not too ambitious. That's 1K is barely anything, right? It's kind of funny because I was talking to like artists, and they say things about like, oh, growing your account. Blah, 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 just grow your... I was like, I'm not even thinking about growing my account. Like, I'm just putting stuff out there. I don't really care, but at the same time, it is something you should care about, right? Because that is like getting your name out there, right? It's just like a step in the process. Yeah, but anyway, on growing the account, I don't know, like, it makes me happy when people subscribe, but I'm also like, I'm not like intentionally doing things in order to increase my viewers or anything. So maybe I should be though. Oh, and I have to make business cards because I'm going to some professional development thing, and I was like, wait a second, I don't have business cards. But okay, I had this really good idea, right? I'm gonna draw them by hand. Hand-drawn business cards. And like, this is not too ambitious, okay? You can do them really fast. But then I had this idea of like a cool gimmick, right? What if I drew them on the spot, right? But then I was like, wait, that could be kind of awkward, because then the other person's gonna be sitting there waiting for it. But it could be a good gimmick too. Or it could be like, I could have them mostly pre-made and then just do like a little cartoon on the spot if the situation allows for it. Anyway, don't steal my ideas, guys. This is like gold. This is a really good idea. No, I mean, please steal it. The more creativity, the merrier. Yeah, anyway, that's the vibe for my birthday, right? The more the merrier. Because like, oh my god, it triggers me so much when people, it's some event and people try to like do some exclusivity thing, like, oh, like, not many people can come, so you better like get in early or I'm gonna turn you away. When it's specifically when it's an event where that doesn't actually apply, like, it's like, okay, if you're hosting somewhere where there's actually a capacity, then fine. But I've had people, and it's like, you know, like at a picnic, it would just be so stupid to say like RSVP quickly or I'm not gonna, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I would like to do more picnicking this summer. This is like, the anatomy is not good. Yeah, if you can't tell, I don't study anatomy, but this is like, it's like stylized, right? And I think this is gonna be a vampire. I'm sorry guys, I know the vampires are getting old, but I want to make it bigger. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, and as you can tell, I'm still not very good at using Krita. And yeah, oh my gosh, the key bindings. I forgot to look up what I had key bindings for again. Yeesh. I'm honestly, no, I'm a great YouTuber, guys. Tell me you love me. Yeah, see, actually this is where being a Twitch streamer could actually be easier, because then you can be like chat. But then when you're just like starting out, then it's kind of awkward because there's no chat. And then it's like, you know, when you join someone's Twitch stream and it's just like you're the only person there and they're like dead silent. So I guess that would be my tip for if you're a Twitch streamer, is pretend you're a YouTuber and you're just talking the entire time. Because there's nothing worse than when someone joins and it's just dead silence. But honestly, talking to yourself is kind of a gift. Or not talking to yourself, right? It's like, because that's the hardest thing when you're talking to yourself, right? And you set up a camera, it can honestly be hard to even get a single word out. And like, if you have never recorded yourself just trying to do off-the-cuff video, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Because the first time I tried to do one of those off-the-cuff videos where I'm just talking, like, it was so hard. Like, I couldn't get a sentence out, you know what I mean? Just because, like, it's honestly really difficult talking to a camera versus talking to, like, an actual person. So the trick that I learned, this is a really good trick, guys, write this down, is you have to imagine that you're talking to someone. And you can kind of imagine a generic, like, audience, like, you know, someone in a certain age range and gender and that sort of thing, you know, like artists. I'm talking to an artist. Or you can think about, you know, I'm talking to my former self. Like, I'm talking to myself 5 years ago. Because generally that's going to be what your audience is going to be people who were essentially in your situation a few years ago. Because you're sharing the wisdom that helped you get to where you are now. Or you can think of a specific person, like a friend, who you might be directing your videos to. So these are all some great tips. And yeah, honestly, I think this is how I justify how much YouTube I watch, is that I'm learning from studying other YouTubers. But I actually do learn some good tips, like the ones that I just mentioned. But yeah, I do watch a lot of YouTube, honestly. And like, I think it's interesting, I think most people do this, because I'm certainly guilty of it, is that I really judge what media other people consume, but then when it comes to myself, I'm like, oh, I'm only consuming the good media, you know what I mean? Like, obviously everyone thinks that, it's so dumb, but it's like, it's kind of like a delusion, or it's just like, it's how you justify your own consumption, I guess. And on the topic of consumption, yeah, I started reading Brave New World. It's okay, I guess. It's like kind of weird because I feel like it's hard to tell where it's coming from. And I know, like, I think Aldous Huxley himself even said the book had flaws, but it's just like, it's really hard to tell just because of the comments that the Aldous Huxley has made on eugenics, where I'm like, I can't tell where he's coming from, you know what I mean? Or like, it seems kind of critical, but it's also like, I really like his later writing, I would say. I don't know. It's okay. It's whatever. Yeah, it feels weird to read a classic just because it's like, oh, it's a classic, everyone's read it. So then you avoid reading it because it's so embarrassing to be like, oh, I'm reading a classic book at my old age, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, I mean, you gotta get to those eventually. So, stupid. And the vibe for this one, we've got vampire in meditation with her eyes wide open, because this is me trying to do meditation when, right, they say, I was reading these magical texts, but like new age magic, or like, what do you call it? All these guys who are in with like this chaos magic stuff, whatever nonsense, I don't even know, whatever. But anyway, one of the instructions was like, sit in meditation, right? But you must be able to sit completely still, right? Without even blinking. And you to start off at least 5 minutes without even blinking. Man, I swear it's not possible. How do you sit there 5 minutes without blinking? I mean, I'm sure there's like some Guinness, whatever, but, or maybe you just have to override your body's signals telling you to blink. But man, that stuff is so hard, and I've been trying every day for several days at this point. But whatever, I'll keep up with it. Like, that's the thing about this magic stuff, because like I mentioned, it's about developing your willpower, is that it's less so about what you're actually doing and more your development of will. I feel like I sound, this is not like thelemic, right? I don't necessarily ascribe to that stuff, but yeah, like if you do the silly thing where you sit there without blinking for 5 minutes, you'll just feel more confident in your abilities and your ability to like stick to something, stick to a routine and that sort of thing, and that just makes you more confident with executing projects in the future. So in that sense, even if you don't necessarily think anything good is going to come of like sitting still, like you'd be surprised. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I guess like YouTube is kind of like that for me too. It's like I said, I would do YouTube, so I guess I gotta do it now. And then every time I post a video, I get more confident in myself. I don't know. There's something wrong about this. I don't know how to draw feet. Because I'm not drawing from reference, right? I'm just drawing from like my mind's eye. So like, I'm imagining how it feels to sit in this pose, which is just kind of like a weird way to explain it, but that's how I tend to draw poses. I don't really like to draw from photos. I like drawing from life, but I don't know, I just have a weird hang up about it. I feel that if you're drawing from life, right, you should be sleeping with your models. Like, it doesn't make sense to stare at someone so in such an intimate setting where you're staring at their naked body and then you just pack it up and go on home. And maybe you don't even talk to them because the class is so busy. That's just weird to me, man. Like, it doesn't feel natural. I feel like it's in the tradition of artistry. But right, my boyfriend won't let me draw him naked, right? So I have to draw him with clothes on and then erase the clothes. Like, isn't that so messed up? This like doesn't look creepy. She doesn't look scary. She just looks cute. What did I do wrong? And it's always the worst too, because it's like, oh my gosh, when you're drawing fantasy creatures, but you don't want it to be like a racial caricature. Because I get so paranoid of that, because you hear that so much about criticism, very valid criticisms of certain authors who have done that. So I'm like, I guess I'll just make them look like me. But then that's problematic too, because it's like, oh, you only ever draw Asians. But, anyway. Yeah, I don't know, draw every day. That's my instruction to you. Because, well, I don't even remember the last time I went a day without drawing. It's surely happened, when I have been at my boyfriend's house and I just forget about it because I don't have any time to myself. But when I'm in my own apartment, I spend a lot of time drawing every day. If I didn't draw every day, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Like, I would just be sitting at my desk and I'd be like, what the heck do I do now, right? And then I would just feel like really scared and uncomfortable. So that's why I like to draw, because if you ever get that whatever paralysis and you're like, what should I be doing at this present moment? Just pick up your creative hobby and get to it, you know what I mean? Like, I saw this funny YouTube video yesterday about like the spiritual effects of like not saying the word like. Oh my gosh, I just said I'm defeating the spiritual. Yeah, anyway. I think I'm just like not a particularly confident person at this moment in time. So that's why I use a lot of filler words. But it's actually hard. It's like manual breathing, Like once you start thinking about it, then you notice it. And I feel like it's not... No, it is definitely something I do in conversation. And it's specifically when I feel intimidated is when I start to do it more. Like, if I'm talking to someone older than me and more professional, then I will kind of like really get into this ditzy mode of like not being able to form a sentence and using a lot of words like and when it's and in very inappropriate ways where it just has no no effect except making me look stupid, right? But yeah, when I feel disarmed like that, then I go into that mode, which is just really silly. But you know, it's good to be aware of. If you do this too, let me know. Okay, I feel like, oh no, because this is my problem. I never know how far to render things out, because you don't want to be like doing value when you're trying to focus on the color, and this is like a really uncleaned sketch, so I would in fact be doing that. So maybe let's be a little patient and give it a few more minutes to come together. And I also don't like how her eyes look, and now they look too big. Yeah, they look too, that's probably why she doesn't look scary enough. Yeah, consumption of scary media, because it's kind of not good for your brain, right? Because it makes you scared. So I've been not scaring myself with horror movies too much recently. Because I was thinking about this, right? The last time I went to a cottage, and I was like scared because I've seen so many of these movies about someone, they're at a remote cottage, and then like evil people break into the cottage or like corner them and whatever, try to kill them. And I realized that like being in a remote area where I'm close to nature actually triggers me into feeling so scared. Which, in reality, I feel like you're more likely to meet violence from people in the city. So I feel like I was almost getting propagandized in that way. Or I mean, it's just like a kind of a valid fear, I guess. But then it's also like I don't know, if someone attacked me in the countryside, sure, no one's gonna be able to hear me scream, but if someone attacks me in the city, what the heck else is gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like, someone will call the cops and they won't even show up, so it's like, yeah. No sense worrying about that kind of stuff. Do you guys have like family members that try and scare you? Because I live in a bigger city, and I'll have family members be like telling me every single shooting, violent occurrence, blah blah, and it's just like, well, because the city is so much bigger than a small city, the crime rate, the actual rate, is not that much higher. But yes, there's a higher volume of incidents, just statistically, and try and scare you into staying in your house and not leaving the house. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of unsettling sometimes. Like, I have definitely witnessed people running down the street wielding a knife. But it's kind of like, I don't think they're gonna stab anyone. It feels more like they're just kind of caught up in their own delusion. Like, I don't necessarily, well, you know, I wouldn't go up to this person and, like, start interacting with them, because then maybe you're at risk. Because that actually did happen in my city, was like, it was just like a guy, they were like just passing each other by, and the guy who was armed and dangerous said something to this, whatever, the victim. And so the victim like turned around and started like going up to this person, right? And yeah, they got stabbed and died. And it's like, so yeah, just be non-confrontational, not to victim blame or anything, but put your life first. It's not worth your pride. That's my message for today. Okay, whatever, let's start coloring this. And I feel like I want to go for like a bluish color scheme for today. Oh my gosh, that's kind of creepy. Oh, I wanted to learn how to do gradient map. Is this what I want? No. Ugh, I used to know how to do this in Photoshop. I can't remember. Whatever. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. We'll just be normal. I'm sorry if this is boring, but the Draw With Me videos are meant to be kind of boring, right? Because you're kind of doing your own thing. You're not supposed to actually be watching or listening intently. You're supposed to be doing your own thing. So please try and implement that when you're watching these videos so you don't get bored. And like, well, actually, I can see how long people watch my videos for, and not a lot of people watch them the whole way, and I really don't mind that. Because like, I don't watch videos the whole way either. I just want to get like a little dose of someone's energy, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, it's almost like you're checking in on like if you had a lot of like animals or like on a baby monitor or something, Like, you just want to see them and get that little daily dose, and you're like, okay, bye. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for with my YouTube channel. It's not meant to be riveting. Although if it was, I guess that wouldn't be so bad. But that's why I need to put out my guided meditation / hypnosis videos. Because then I'm going to put subliminals, like, really quietly being like and subscribe in the background with the binaural beats or whatever. Yeah, this is my master plan. Don't copy me, guys. Or do. Because, like, there are cults that have done good things in the world, right? Maybe not. I'm not trying to start a cult. See, oh, this offended me so much. My parents were worried that I was going to join a cult. Like, ew, like, what? I'm going to start the cult. Why would I join someone else's cult? That offended me so much. Okay, well, you don't even know me. Okay, she's looking cute. She's looking good. And yeah, I don't know. Art. That's art business. I talk about this in every video. I was about to say, I feel like I've talked about this in a video before. No, duh, I talk about this every video. About, okay, art, it's like a spiritual calling, okay? It's not a career. Like, it's not optional. And I'm not gonna stop doing it just because I don't make money off it. Although, obviously, it would be nice to make money off it. So yeah, I just feel like, is it time to merge the layers yet? No, maybe not. Because I just feel like, no, but this is the thing, right? Because, I was talking to a family member, and they were like, their daughter was going off to university, but she chose a program which, like, it's still an extremely prestigious program, like, very, like, one of the lowest admission rates in a school that is honestly, it's pretty good school. School I went to, but whatever. And anyway, her parents were very offended that she chose this program, even though it's still in STEM, right? But they were like, well, she got into better programs that are more, like, academically esteemed. So I just don't understand why she would do that, because, you know, I would have caved under societal pressure and gone to the program that's more academically esteemed. But, okay, what is societal pressure? Who in society is telling you this? It's not. So I think a lot of times when we say societal pressure, it's like, it's in our head. It's our own pressure. It's our own inner voice. And, like, obviously there are certainly, like, standards, societally, people talk about societal beauty standards, and it's like, it's true. Like, what is in our advertising is like, there is a standard, when it comes to, like, money making and all that stuff, but who is enforcing these societal standards is entirely us, right? There's no police officer coming to your door and saying, you've made the wrong decision for your career, right? It's entirely yourself who's important. Or, like, perhaps if you haven't cut the umbilical cords with your parents, maybe it's your parents imposing this sort of stuff. But, yeah, so stop blaming society, because it's your own responsibility at this point. And I'm speaking to myself when I say that, because I tend to be that person too, a lot of the time. For sure. I definitely say things about society. It's like, bro, there is no society. Like, or like, you're part of the society, but you can be the encouraging, good, friendly part of society. And yeah, in this one, right, okay, this is confusing, right? Because I've put in the shadows to be blue. But now I'm adding warm colors. But the logic for where I'm putting the warm colors, there is no logic. I guess kind of like where the highlights and the shadows meet, and you put the more saturated, more warmer color, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, this is the thing, because I didn't go to school to learn how to draw. I went to school to learn how to make movies. So I honestly can't really put into words some of these techniques that I think I've just kind of intuitively picked up. Okay, now it's time to start on the overpainting layer. We've done the underpainting. It's time to go over. Or I think I should just merge it all together. And yeah, I like the dark hair, black hair. Should I make her, like, glowing or something? And how long is this video gonna be? I don't know. I think it's just gonna be one of those things where when it's done, it's done. because I don't know. It's a good practice for myself, right? To make a longer video, because then I'm challenging to see how long I can talk, which is honestly not very long. It's funny because I posted, I wish I had a job that I could wear a clown nose to. And then I immediately realized, like, wait, or like clown makeup. That's just called being a clown. It was right under my big red nose all along. But I'm scared to become a clown, right? I talked to my psychotherapist and I was like, I don't have the charisma to be a clown. And then she's like, well, you could learn it. Huh? I don't know. I don't know if I can learn. No, of course, anyone can learn anything. And you're not supposed to paint with absolute white. That's what the art gods have said. Use off-white. And yes, she is supposed to have a sickly pallor, okay? She has a disease. A disease called vampirism. Sometimes I want to be really nosy. Like, I saw these really fascinating customers, and they're like an older couple, like maybe in their 70s, and they come in really frequently, but I've never seen them with this younger woman. And then one day they came in with this younger woman who's about mid-20s and very like elegant and beautiful and dresses extraordinarily fancy. But she seemed very nervous. And then she came in again, but just with the man this time. And again seemed kind of nervous, but then she really warmed up through the night. And it was weird because I was like thinking, like, is this guy like a pimp or something? And I was like, wow, why would my mind go there? Like it's almost kind of disrespectful to her. Like maybe he's her lawyer or like literary agent. So I kind of wanted to ask, like, who are these people in relation to you? But that's just like so totally rude and not. Society won't allow me to do that. But just, and yeah, and also just because she had a really intriguing aura. So I was like, I want to investigate more. Like, you know when you meet someone and you're just like, I just want to like, this person is so like magnetic or like fascinating. Like, I want to investigate them. But I never actually do. But because I kind of feel like the mystery is almost better, right? Because you let your mind kind of wander, and then maybe you write down some notes in your journal about, ooh, what my conspiracy theory on what this is. And then that's like better for your work. Whereas like if I actually investigated them, it would probably just be like really anticlimactic and like awkward. So I don't know, whatever. Vampires. Yeah, like vampires. My favorite vampire movies. I really like The Addiction because it's I feel like she's like a philosophy student or something. So it's kind of relatable. I like The Hunger. Yeah, like all the classics. Like honestly, Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, whatever. Because like, did you know he died? Like he changed the color of all those mice or whatever. The mice were the wrong color, so he dyed them or covered them in paint or something like that. This is just like not very symmetrical. You know when people do that thing where they like flip the canvas and then it becomes symmetrical, or you mirror it and then so you can work out what's asymmetrical in it. But then I feel like I'm not gonna say it's cheating, right? Because I love and respect digital art. It's not cheating. But and it really does help you see the flaws in your drawing. Like, see, she's just looking a little. She's not. You're supposed to be sitting up straight in meditation, girl. What is this? But I just feel like it's better to learn without relying on those tools too much. it don't look right. But it does actually, like, it speeds up your workflow, right, too? Because, like, if I was sitting here trying to work out what was wrong with it without flipping it, then I would have been here for hours, right? But now I can just... Now I feel like I've just cheated. But now... But I don't know. Yeah, I'm starting to think I'm actually like... Oh. I'm actually like not good at art or something. No, just kidding. Like, isn't it funny how you can say one thing and then a mere few minutes later do the exact opposite to the thing, or do the exact thing that you were criticizing? Like, isn't it so interesting how the human mind works that way? I really do believe in this theory that, like, we're essentially possessed by different impulses from moment to moment. And it's just so easy to let yourself get caught up in those impulses and forget about this true self who made these resolutions to, like, do these things that you condemn so strictly. Or even if that was a true self and not just another face stepping in to make some moral judgment, essentially. And yeah, I know I could probably be using different brushes that aren't just the airbrush tool, but sue me. Okay, I do what I want. Yeah, travel. I was thinking about travel recently. I don't know where I want to travel, really. Just because, like, I don't really believe in it. I mean, I know that planes can fly and everything, but, like, it just feels wrong to me, you know? Like, you should be risking your life on, like, a boat, right? It just doesn't feel right to me that you can just get on a plane and be in a different country. Or, like, it's just not part of my class. It's not part of the script that I have for myself, right? I do not spend money on flights as part of my script. Because, yeah, this was another thing I was talking to my family member about. It's like, they're like, oh, why don't you ever go out to see shows, like, at these big venues? You know, like, it's not quite a stadium. I don't know what you call it. Like a music hall. Because they're, like, big proponents of going to see the symphony and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh god, that, like, absolutely disgusts me, the idea of it. Like, I would rather pay that, you know, $5 cover and go in and see, like, a local band than be spending that much money on the symphony, you know what I mean? Just, it actually, and it's not that I'm like, I genuinely would enjoy the experience more. And there's some degree I'm programmed that way, but just it's just interesting that you can come at it where they would be just, like, absolutely disgusted and disappointed to do that. But for me, I would be disgusted and disappointed to go to what they find classy and interesting. So, and it's interesting because they were really doing that dichotomy of, like, fine art, low art, where they're like, well, this is high art, you know, the symphony. But some, like, local musician, that's just cheap entertainment, you know what I mean? Whereas for me, it's like, it's almost the opposite. Like, okay, you've got these, like, cultural institutions that have been playing the same danged songs for hundreds of years, and then you have someone who's being, like, really completely independently creative and really putting their soul out into their music. Not to say that the musicians in other contexts don't, but it's just, whatever, anyway. Or maybe I should stop saying anyway and actually follow my thoughts through to their, like, logical conclusion. But I think it's also because I don't really care to get swept up in certain trains of thought. I don't know. I feel like maybe sometimes I sound crazy because I actually sometimes think I'm making total sense. And then even my psychotherapist will be like, I don't follow. I have no idea what you're going on about. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'm actually crazy then. But in a good way. I feel like being crazy makes you a good artist, right? Maybe that's a schema that I need to unpack. Whatever. Okay, she's looking cool. I like this. Well, I don't like that her hair matches the background now, but I like the color of her hair. But whatever. You switch it up. Keep them guessing. This is how I used to have my hair, so it's just like me. Yeah, she's cute. I like this expression. I'm feeling that I could work on this for several hours more before it was passable, but I also feel like I just want to finish up the drawing. So maybe it'll be another rough sketch to be polished up if the need arises to make a rose. If I need to make merch out of this. Because that's the crazy thing is like, people always say, oh, you need to sell your art. What the heck would I sell, right? Because I just do doodles. And I don't want to, I mean, I could sell it. I actually sold my first original piece of artwork. Because I was just showing someone something that I made that was like actually like a trash, like actually like a doodle. I mean, whatever, it was pretty good, I guess. I mean, I did it in like 15 minutes. And they just offered like, oh, I'll just give you $5 for that. I was like, no, you don't want this. But I had one whole whiskey soda, so I was like, hell yeah, man. And then made my first sale. Although, I mean, I guess I used to like make sales on DeviantArt. But not like for real money, for points. Those points. And then you give the points back so you can get the premium membership. So stupid. But I was like a kid, so whatever, it doesn't count. My stupidity doesn't count when I was 12 years old. The stupidity counts now that I'm a grown adult paying for Letterboxd Pro. No, I just canceled it. I just had it on auto renew. But then it's kind of embarrassing, so. I haven't been watching movies. I used to like really watch a lot of freaking movies. It's crazy. Like, I used to watch like a movie a day, you know what I mean? And because I've talked to people who watch like 2 movies a day, where I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get my numbers up. But then you see how stupid it is, right? Because why would you spend all your time watching other people's creations when you could be creating your own dang thing? Or not. Or you could just be sitting there doing nothing, I guess. Is also valid. Yeah, and she's kind of wearing like, what is this, a sports bra? I don't really own any sports bras, so I don't really know what they look like. I guess you could just call it like a crop top. Yeah, I don't really do sports. It always offends me when someone's like, oh, you should try a sport. Because I'm like, you literally don't know me. Like, you literally, like, my body is not capable of rapid movements. I'm more suited to like Tai Chi. Although it would be kind of fun to do like a violent sport. Or not violent, but one that you can really work out your anger through. Like kickboxing or whatever. Because I feel like I've heard from people who've done kickboxing that it really helped reduce their anger. And I think that I'm a very angry person. No, as I said in my audiovisual diary, which you can check out on my page. It's kind of old at this point, but I'm no longer an angry person. I used to be an angry person. But I'm not anymore. Yeah, what the heck? This doesn't even... It just looks... No, it looks great. I don't hate my art. I love my own art. I don't hate my art. Repeat the affirmation several times. I love my art. Because I feel like I might have mentioned this. Oh, God, I need to stop saying that, but... like, I've heard people say, like, you only hate the way your art looks because it looks like you made it. You know what I mean? Like, you see your own personal touch in it, and then that's what you don't like about it. But if someone else had made this drawing, I would have been like, dang, that's a sick drawing. But just because you're making it, right? You see all the imperfections and those touches where you wish you had done better, but for another observer... Although whatever, I guess I should open myself up to critique. I'm actually going to a critique group, and it feels like kind of pressure, because I don't get any critique on my art, you know what I mean? Like, on Instagram it's only love, which I appreciate, but there's also a time and place for critique. So I'm just kind of nervous for it. I mean, but I believe in critique, but I also don't, you know what I mean? Because I think that the goal of critique, of course, whatever, make the best piece of art possible. I think it's more like just getting fresh eyes on it, and maybe it'll different perspectives. But at the end of the day, I really think that the most important part of critique is to encourage people to keep creating. Like, if you give critique and you kill someone's project because you just don't get it, like, you're screwed, buddy. Or, I mean, like, obviously it's on the part of the person too to, like, not crash out over critique. But it's just, I don't know, because sometimes I see people give critique and it's like, well, you just don't like the project. You just don't like this person's style. And you don't like their methodology. Whatever. And your critique is not helpful because you're just saying, I don't like it. And then that could just demoralize the person. Especially if it's a very young person or whatever. Because, yeah, like in art school, it was always just the worst where the profs would just not get it. And their critique would be just change the project entirely. And not to me, personally. Honestly, I was kind of lackluster in school because I was so depressed and, like, going through some stuff. So I was like, I would just show up to the critique with, like, not with nothing, but it would just kind of be like, meh. I never really got positive or negative critique. I just got no critique. Although I guess that could be said for a lot of people in my cohort, just because, like, yeah, everyone was going through some stuff. It was COVID, whatever. Like, no one was, like, in a participatory mood. So I think that's kind of the awesome part, is that now I've joined a critique group as an adult, and I'm finally getting the real critique experience of how it should be if I went to a real art school instead of film school. I think I can just, like, not render out the lower half of this figure. I think I can just leave it like this, right? I think I can just not draw hands. What the heck? Yeah, it's just super meditative making drawings, especially with airbrush tool, right? Because it just blends. It just blends so beautifully. But you know what? I'm going outside my comfort zone, okay? We're gonna put some real texture on here, some real brushes. For the first time ever in my Krita experience, we're using different brushes. I feel like I want one that actually looks like a brush, right? Oh my gosh, I'm, like, nervous. What's it gonna look like? I don't see it. What? Ugh. It's like nothing. Maybe I just chose the wrong one. Like this one. This one looks like a dirty oil paint brush that has not been cleaned, which I think is very accurate. No, just kidding. I always clean my oil paint brushes. This is just like, what the heck? What is this? What is this? I don't want this. Okay, maybe like a sponge. Something stippled. And yeah, I do have some brushes that I added in here. I have some screen tone. I actually have used that, so I lied. I just want like texture, but I don't want it to have width variation, which I know I can turn off, but I don't want to fuss with that. Oh my gosh, figure it out. This one. This looks like a pastel of some sort. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. This is perfect. Because actually, yeah, using brushes, that noise effect that it kind of gives, it really will make your drawings look a lot more finished, faster. Save you effort on the rendering, because you just throw in some texture and boom, it looks so good. That's a pro tip. And yes, I always have my light source coming from the same direction. Sue me. And yes, I shade with black. Sue me. I just think there's so many, like, stupid rules, and, like, you know, no matter what decision you make, it's gonna give your art a certain look. So if you shade with black, it's gonna give the look of you shaded with black, but there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, again, I'm arguing with the voices in my head of this made-up art judges who don't even exist. Whatever. Wait, this brush is actually really cool. Wait, I should have done the whole drawing with this brush. I'm gonna use this brush for every drawing now. That's so cool. See, you learn something every time you make a drawing. Just like meditation. Every time you meditate, you're gonna learn something new. This is a fact. Well, actually, I don't know, because I don't know if I've even learned anything from meditation, but I've just always heard that every time you meditate, you'll learn something new. So maybe I learned things, but I just can't put them into words. But I definitely do notice a change in my, like, the more you will notice things when you start meditating regularly. Things that you can't put into words. Because if you could, what would be the point of meditating? She's like smirking, right? Because she knows something you don't. Because she meditated. And yeah, if you can't tell, I only really like drawing faces. So you get a face and the body is just whatever. But now I feel like the background needs more. It needs something. And then we'll crop it square for Instagram, and we're just about done. I mean, aside from the fact that the bottom half of the painting is not painting, whatever. Eek. Yeah, I'm doing a challenge called No Instagram June. For the month of June, I'm not gonna go on Instagram. Oh, what the heck? We'll see how well that goes, because I am an Instagram addict. But it's like, oh my god, there's actually something wrong with me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm normal. Okay, wait, it actually looks pretty good. I'm actually not, aside from the fact that it's not done. Let's just do a little bit more. I feel like I need to summon down my spirit guides to give me inspiration on what to talk about during my YouTube videos. Spirit guides, what does the collective need to hear right now? They need to hear that it's okay if all your drawings look like they suck, because in 6 months, you will look back at the drawing that you thought sucked, and it will actually be the best drawing you ever made, and no drawing you ever make again will compare to that. And then you're gonna hate yourself because your old style used to be so much better, and now your style sucks, and now all your drawings suck. And then 6 months later, boom, boom, guess what's gonna happen? Yeah, you guessed it. So just like, don't listen to the voices in your head and just keep creating, right? Because I've talked about The Artist Way before on this channel, and I do like that book, but like I said, there's many options for reclaiming your creative freedom, that sort of thing. So I'm not trying to like be dogmatic about you must read this book, but I will say that it helped me. And one of the biggest changes for me, and like what really shifted for me, was there's like a bit in the book that's like, you know, you pray to your God and say like, I will take care of the quantity, you take care of the quality, you know, right? Like the quality of my artwork is not my responsibility. I just have to make a lot of it. And God, or whoever, like your new age conception of God, like it doesn't have to be a God, you know, right? Just like whatever, universe, creative spirit takes care of the quality. And that's just how you have to think about it. And that will allow you to be a prolific artist, and then that will allow you to pick up all the practice you need to be a good artist. I mean, all art is good, whatever. Except South Park, if you can call that art. Whatever. Sometimes the things that I say do in fact surprise me. I think that everyone should start rapping. I actually don't really know how to rap, as you would know if you saw my Clown Girl rap, which is on my channel. But sometimes I rap in my head, but I know that if I said anything out loud, it wouldn't come out. My sense of rhythm. But whatever, anyone can learn, anyone can practice. Okay, does she need like a piercing or something? I feel like I'm gonna give her a piercing because it's not a self-portrait, guys. It's not. I mean, it doesn't look anything like me anyway, so it's obviously not a self-portrait. But I happen to have one of those like little piercings in my ear, so just give it to be cheeky. I would have way more piercings if I had money. Like, oh my god, when you see those people with their ears all decked out with like, they got stacks going on and stuff, that's so freaking cool. But a piercing is like $40 plus $40 for the jewelry. That's so messed up. $40, that's like, that's a lot of groceries, if I'm being honest. If you know how to stretch it. If you know how to buy rice and beans, $40 gets you a lot of calories. Do you ever think that, like, this is like the stupidest propaganda ever? By buying rice and beans, you're keeping yourself poor because you think you're the type of person to buy rice and beans, right? You should instead be door dashing every meal because you're in your wealth abundance mindset. Paid for by DoorDash. This was a sponsored ad by DoorDash. Man, whatever. Okay. We're done. We're done. Oh, that earring looks stupid now. It doesn't, because it doesn't look like it's an earring. Because it doesn't, it's not, that's not how it, on a vampire ear, it looks different than on a human. Oh my god. Yeah, this is just, but that's my life. It's just a day in my life, honestly. A million decisions, right? I guess that's kind of what makes art hard, is that it's just decision after decision. But that's kind of the human condition in a way, right? You can decide to be your highest self, or you can decide to descend into low frequency vibrations. So decide now to be your highest self who goes to make a drawing right after watching this video. Or do something else, like clean your room or whatever. I don't know. Quoth Jordan Peterson. I feel like Jordan Peterson is like one of our most recent Jungian influencers. I mean, obviously there's people more in the academic sphere, but I'm talking about like on the global field. And like, I know he's not strictly a Jungian, and he has his own weird stuff going on. But anyway, I think we need a better Jungian influencer than Jordan Peterson, and I think that I'm uniquely suited to step up to the challenge. It'll be me. Guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're done. Okay, time for the outro. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. That was like, no, it was a really good YouTube video. And I really hope that you got some value out of this. Maybe if you watched it on 2x speed, maybe you did. Just to see the process of how I make a drawing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.